Welcome back, guys, to another day on the ranch. I am really hoping, fingers crossed, that this vlog includes a calf birth in it. So in the last vlog, you guys saw I was talking about Essie is due any day now. She has been getting a lot of bag development. Her ligaments are getting looser. We're just waiting on her, pretty much. But she's hanging here. She's getting ready. She's tired. I brought out, I gotta look and see. We just dewormed them recently. And we are trying to switch to a natural dewormer. However, we had a rough case with the goats and with the cows that we might need to try conventional. It has definitely worked on a lot of them, but we might need to do conventional first and then just stick with the natural dewormer as a maintenance once we clear it up. But the biggest telltale sign with livestock and horses included, if they're not shedding out their winter coat entirely, they probably have a worm issue. A lot of times the hair will just sit there, so it looks like they're not shedding it, but they are. It's just like kind of hanging on. And you know, horses typically get groomed regularly, so it's more obvious that they're actually losing it because you're pulling it off. Where cows, you don't really groom as often. So I'm going to groom them up a little bit. I'm not bringing treats in with me yet because they've gotten a little crazy with the treats lately. Some children have joined me. So much progress here with Emmy, specifically. She's getting up to leave, but she would have never let me go up to her like that while she's laying. So I've been working a lot with them with treats. Hopefully she gets up and I can show you guys how big her udder has gotten. Amazing. Definitely shedding out. Look at all this. Don't spray her face.
It's already pretty close.
She's just laying here. Sadie, I don't have anything for you. Knock it off. Hopefully you're not stuck. I think she's always one to let you come up to her when she's laying down. So when she's laying down, she's chilling. You'd probably like lay on her and she wouldn't care. How you doing, Debbie's? You got flies all over your face, huh? Going to grab the kids to bring the goats water. However, that whole like stretching thing that you just saw Essie doing, I thought she was just like sniffing the air, but I've never seen her do that before. So I don't know, maybe she's feeling something. I'm gonna try to get a shot of what her udder looks like right now, but she won't stand up, which is another sign for me. Like I said, she will just chill when you're there. However, typically I would say within like 15 minutes of me being there, she chooses to stand up. Now she is herd matriarch, and so a lot of times when she's laying, everyone else is grazing, and when everyone else is laying, she is grazing. So Delilah just laid down, so probably several other of them are going to start laying down soon, and then I would expect her to get up, but we'll see. We just do Aerie.
Fill the goat's water?
Yeah, we have to lug 5-gallon buckets over here to fill it, don't we?
Then how does the hose reach that?
Well, we can only reach with a far hose to one animal at a time. And the cows, they only have a 50-gallon trough. So we have to fill it multiple times a day on a timer. So they get the hose. So we just come out here every few days and fill this thing with some buckets. Everybody's doing good though. Where are you going, Hemlock? Hey Thor, what's up, bud? How are you? How are your goatee friends? For those that have been around a while, you know that Thor was our very first livestock guardian dog. Like first to us, first ever. And so it was a big learning curve. Livestock guardian dogs are entirely different. People that know like my past history, I had a service dog for PTSD for 8 years. And my mom was a dog trainer growing up. All of those like basic home dog training compared to service dog training compared to livestock guardian dogs, so different. So very different. And there was a lot of unlearning to do with our livestock guardian dogs because they're just innate abilities and the things that are just built into them, and that's just what they do. It's just so different. And a lot of the things that as like a pet dog owner or service dog owner, you're like, yeah, that's a no-no, but in the livestock guardian dog world, that's a good thing. Like there's just so It's so very different. Needless to say, we made a lot of mistakes with Thor at first, and one of the biggest things was we let him bond to us, and we essentially became his stock. He was protective of us, and he did still do his job of protecting the other animals on the property because we were on the property. It's also very common that around like 2 to 3 years of age, livestock guardian dogs no longer accept anyone except their humans. Now, this is different in that it's not an aggression issue so much as it's a protective instinct of theirs, because if I take him off of this property, he's not aggressive towards people. He's great at the vet. He's fine if we are off his property, not in his charges. But if people are around or animals are around that are with his stock and what he is protecting, that's not his family, so just the 5 of us really. The only one that he's really accepted outside of us 5 is Patrick. Otherwise, he hasn't accepted anybody. So once we noticed that he was no longer accepting of people that were not us, we obviously put him up right away. He used to have full access to the property. He doesn't anymore. And it was a process for him because he used to always push out of his charges because he wanted to be with us because we were his stock. So it just took time for him to properly bond with the goats, and that just came with, you know, only interacting with him in with his stock, never letting him out anymore. Like that's where he stayed, just indefinitely. And it didn't honestly take too long before he changed over his stock, and what he's in charge of is goats. He doesn't try to push out, he doesn't try to escape anymore. The people that previously had him, the reason they were rehoming him is he wouldn't stay in his charges. He would constantly get out. And there were donkeys outside of his charges that, if you don't know, donkeys aren't always accepting either. They're great guards as well sometimes, but a lot of times they hate dogs and they'll actually try to kill them. And so that was the problem they were having with this dude. He was too young then though. He was only a year old. You know, livestock guardian dogs aren't totally trustworthy until they're like 2 to 3. We got very lucky with him being totally trustworthy at the age of 1 with poultry. Again, like we still made a lot of mistakes with that, and we learned a lot along the way. A Facebook group that I follow called Learning About LGDs was huge in us learning about livestock guardian dogs. 100% recommend it if you're thinking about getting one. You know, we also adopted Olaf, who was 2, never lived on a farm. You know, Thor grew up on a farm, and he was integrated within a couple weeks. These dogs just, it's so innately built into them that you can fix damage that you've potentially done with them. It just takes time and knowledge and being willing to like learn and be like, oh, I did that wrong. I need to, you know, adjust that and fix it. You know, we brought these goats right in and he didn't even miss a beat. They were immediately accepted into his group.
Like,
hi, bud.
I need animals.
Yeah, you love animals. Oh, big stretches.
Then he tries getting out if there's
yes, so you got to keep in stock with him.
Or have electric fencing so he won't get out.
Yeah, so like, for instance, when we first got him and before he was properly bonded, we'd have to put electric even over the gate because he would just stop it. He would just climb the gate, but he doesn't do that anymore now that he's properly bonded, huh, buddy? Or he'd push out. Here, I'll show you kind of what he does now. See how long it takes, though. He's gonna follow us because he does like love and attention still. Come on here. See, there you go. He sees we're leaving, he just stops. Good boy, bud. Look who stood up. You can finally get that udder footage. Let's feel your ligaments, my dear. Oh, and we're getting squishy. So here's her udder today. She's still got a good amount of wrinkles. It still needs to fill out a bit, but that bag's a decent amount bigger than the last day or 2.
We just got an invisible fence for the LGDs. If you don't know, if you're not familiar with invisible fences for dogs, basically you've got a wire that typically gets buried in the ground, and that's what creates the invisible barrier. Then they have an electric collar that goes on their neck, and basically if they get into a certain range of this buried wire, then it will either shock them, give them a tone, vibrate, whatever you have that set to. And so I had the idea of leveraging this basically the same way that I move the cows, and that's basically with a solar panel battery charger that I use to electrify the single line of electric that I move the cows with. And so I was thinking, man, it'd be great to basically have that in the same bucket and just run this wire around where the cows are. More or less the same concept. Not really sure we're gonna end up doing that, but we do need to enable the LGDs to roam a little bit more on the property, especially now that we're gonna be moving the cows like way to the back at times where we have no visibility. We know that there's animals back there, and just to keep everybody safe, especially chickens, as they are gonna start following those cows as well. We wanna put the pigs down in the woods. So there's a lot of stuff where there's less visibility. There's more predators back there than are up here by the house. And so we really want to just give the dogs more free range in that back part of the property to make sure that everybody's staying safe.
Okay, so we just pulled this out. Ryan said when you twist them, it basically nullifies it, so like it'll still transfer, but it won't like give the sensor or whatever. So we brought it here, and then from here out, we'll pull this alongside here. And Ryan's going that way. Ryan's walking the perimeter with the collar now. How's it working?
Now it's time to give it some sting.
All right, you gotta be willing to try out what shocks your animals, so Ryan's about to.
I set it to level 7. It goes up to level 8. According to the instructions, it says 7 and 8 are for stubborn dogs. These dogs
That would be the epitome of livestock guardian
may
dogs.
be a bit stubborn. Ready? So I should get a warning. So it's just gonna like beep and vibrate. And then if I continue, it will actually give me a static shock. Yep, there's the warning. I mean, it's not that it hurts, but it makes you jump.
It shocked you.
Yep, that it does. Enough to startle you, especially when it's on your neck.
I mean, it shocks you before you even get there.
Yeah, I mean, we can set that distance.
Uh-huh.
I think it's like 8 to 24 feet, basically total. So it'd be like 4 to 12 feet.
So what happens if they cross the line? It's a constant shock?
It will continue shocking them until they get out of that range. And Plucker spins it around really fast, pulls all the feathers off, and then it'll move to one of these tables where basically and we'll go through and show the process, but we cut it open and we pull all the guts out, and once the guts are out, we can spray it down, have fun, ask questions.
Go slow.
Yeah. Don't
slow.
cut yourself.
The knives are all extremely sharp.
Oh. Lord, thank you for this time. Thank you for the fellowship and the friendship that we have here. And we thank you for the birds that we're going to be processing today. Thank you for their lives. Thank you for the nourishment that they are going to provide for us and our families. And we ask that you provide safety for everybody here, that there would be no injuries, and everybody would have an enjoyable time and learn some new things and some new skills. All be to your honor and your glory. In Jesus' name, amen.
And you're basically just gonna stick your whole head up in here, like a claw. And like you want to be able to feel bone, like up here. Put your hand in there, grab, and get it all out.
Okay, it is Sunday the 23rd. Icy's bag is looking pretty big. I mean, got a little bit of wrinkles there, but really firm. And she is quite soft up here. I think tomorrow is her actual like expected due date, but we'll see. The last few days, she's definitely seemed to be getting closer. Okay, then come get her side a little bit. Yeah, there you go. That might be a little more challenging since she's right next to Sadie, but... So it is now Sunday. We just finished parting out all of the chickens. We did not actually record any of that because we didn't think about it until just now. But we've got legs, we got breasts, or actually, yeah, that's breast. We got wings. We got thighs, lots and lots of thighs. Tenderloins, look at all that. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of weight in tenderloins. Actually, I'd be curious. Want to go put that on the scale? I mean, it's...
Yeah, he's still got 2 more.
Oh, he's still got 2 more. Oh, yeah. 5 pounds in tenderloins is quite a bit. especially when you realize how small the tenderloins are compared to every other cut that you get off of a chicken. And Dad's working on the very final chicken.
I'm the slow one.
Hey, you do good work. But really, trying to part out the breast is, I think, the most challenging part. 26 birds, hour and a half to process, all actually 31 yesterday. We had a bunch of help, but then today, parting them out. About 2 hours just between the three of us, and then Arianna's doing all the vacuum sealing. As we see over here, oh my goodness, it's so tricky trying to get the angled right.
It automatically seals, usually, but I find with moist, it will just like keep going, so I just press the button.
And then we left 2 whole chickens. We've still got 5 whole chickens in the freezer, so we didn't want to have too many, but figured we'd add just a couple more.
I'll wait to see your golden smile, feel of 1,000.
Okay, what are you doing?
I am seasoning the chicken thighs that we just carved out. So I just grabbed cream out and was like, I'll just marinate in cream. So it's been sitting in cream for
About 4 hours, 3 hours.
3 or 4 hours. Had it marinated in the fridge while we were finishing up parting everything out. And now we're gonna cook them on the grill because that's how you barbecue, right? On the grill.
But yeah, this will be good. This chicken is within 36 hours fresh. The cows have moved over right behind the backyard, which is within the bounds of where we put the invisible fence for the dogs. And both Rune and Olaf have had 2 times that we've been out with them on lead, kind of walking the perimeter of the fence, which is now all accompanied by this visible electric line for the cows. So that basically goes all the way around, following the electric fence or the invisible fence. And so now, just to really put them to the test, I've got them on a long lead, and but I'm not holding it. They're on a long lead. They've got the collar for the invisible fence, but also tracking GPS collar. Tractive, we've had that for about a year now, and it actually works really well. So we haven't used the tractive collars recently because the dogs have actually been like penned up within fences, so we haven't had to, but that will, in essence, I set up a perimeter right around essentially the same area. So if she happens to go through the invisible fence and get out somewhere, I'll get a notification on my phone letting me know that she is out of her defined area, and then I'll have to go catch her. So I'll be able to track her where she's at with the lead, with that long lead on. I'll easily be able to catch her, even if she's trying to run away from me. So this is what we're doing. And this is Runa's first time around larger stock. Actually, I don't remember if Rune was in with Daisy, but if you recall, Daisy was in the backyard with pretty much all the others right away after she was born. But now she's doing real good on grass with the big guys. Still waiting on Miss Essie down there to give birth, but I just had Olaf out here. I was up by the garage, I look over, and Olaf was right outside here. Now he didn't get far enough away to trigger the GPS notification, so I didn't see that, but I did see him out here, so I just walked him back in and swapped for Rune. I'm not sure I put it on tight enough for Olaf because they're so hairy. May have not really made great skin contact, so he probably didn't feel it, but we'll see. I've got other stuff to do. It's a good learning experience for the dogs. Also, I forgot to mention, this is the first time Rune has been out around chickens without any sort of barrier between them or a lead holding her back. And she has left them alone entirely. Even yesterday, or the last couple of days when I was out with her on the lead, she didn't seem to care at all. She left them alone, even when they were right in front of her. So she's growing, yay! Those chickens were a big stressor at the beginning because she just wanted all of them. I mean, they're still a bit scared of her, but she's leaving them alone. Aren't you? Yes. You're doing so good. I want you to come closer to a perimeter. I want you to enjoy the freedom you have, not just go sit right back up there.
Well, guys, I was really hoping to have a calf at the end of this vlog for you guys, but it's not gonna happen. Yeah, as you can see, her udder's getting big. She's getting closer. For sure in the next one. Well, I won't say that because I hope in the next one. You guys will hopefully be seeing a little Jersey Brown Swiss calf in the next video. But you know, you guys can already see from this video, it's already super long, so I'm gonna have to cut it off here. Miss Essie is just holding her calf hostage, which is fine. She's gonna have that calf when she's good and ready. But yeah, she's gearing up. That udder is even bigger than it was.